Part 11 of Pregnant by a Man, Living a Double Life. What's the word, birds? You already here with the boss mom. So let's keep it going. So fast forward, my mom has come to talk to me. Everybody is now responding. It's, the next day, and I don't want to talk to him. I did talk a little bit to his best friend, which is my daughter's godfather. And I just told him, something is not right, something not sitting right. And I just don't like what I'm feeling. I'm not stupid. And at this point, I know it's something else. I know it's something else. I know it's somebody else. And whatever is going on, you need to tell me. And so when I asked him, like I said, I know that probably wasn't the best time to ask him when he was just up here. And shit, he was up there and stayed up there for hell, God knows how long. And he kept saying, no, why would I be cheating on you? You my pregnant girlfriend, just trying to make me think I'm crazy. But I know I'm not crazy. Like, you ain't acting like this over just nothing. And again, the stuff that you're ingesting in your body to make you get here is literally not helping that. So now we're going to fast forward to, I've been out of preterm labor for a while. Things are like very much abnormal. He and I are barely talking. It's like text messages, but it's not for real text messages. He texting from random numbers, and then, I unblocked him and finally said my little piece, and then I'll block him back. He'll text from another number. Like, it was a whole bunch of back and forth. Again, I'm sitting here 7.5 months pregnant. All of this, he still ain't came to the house to see us. None of this stuff. So we done got to Mother's Day. He's texting everybody, how's she doing? Where's Maya? Da, 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 da. She won't talk to me. She won't respond to me. So I go to drop my kids off one morning, and lo and behold, I told y'all he's on parole. Who's at my door? The parole officer. He's ringing the doorbell, and I see him on the camera. So I'm like, okay. So I immediately call one of his family members, and I'm like, hey, I don't know where he is. Come to find out, he had gone to go see his mom. Mind you, he never told me he left. He just left. So he had been asking people, I guess, to help him get back or whatever the case may be. He made a real dumb, impulsive decision to leave and then didn't have the resources to get back or however it was. And again, it wasn't my issue because at this point, I'm just like, none of this shit is making sense. And you're still up here. Everybody that talks to him, he's slurring words. He can't format right. Everybody that have a conversation with him is like, he's not normal. He doesn't sound right at all. So at this point, I don't want to hear from him. I just don't. Do I love him at this point? Absolutely. Do I want him to get himself together? Absolutely. But whatever he's fighting right now, these are some things that I couldn't help him fight. And I'm slowly starting to see that because if you're using those type of things to cope, this is why your mindset is where it is. And whoever is around you is making you feel like that's the way to cope. And we clearly know that this is not the way to cope. Like, you're an adult. You're too old. Now, am I saying, is he having this crisis and maybe the timing is messed up? Yes, I am. I'm very much saying like, okay, this is a hell of a time to be having a crisis. But at the same time, I also do understand that, men have this ego thing and men want to feel like they are wanted. And as a woman, I call myself making him feel like that. Yes, he was struggling with keeping, like a job that had good benefits and great pay, but you had a job. And that's what I was looking at. You were able to provide the things that I was asking you. We started dating. All of these things I had well before you. So for you to think in your mind that the expectation was for you to come in and take care of my lifestyle, that was never going to be. I never had that in my head. And I don't expect no man to take care of me. Once you're in the position that you can, that's one thing. But I knew, just like you knew, that was not going to be the case in this. And I was okay with being a team player. We was going to do this thing together. I don't always have it either. But I know how to make sure my bills are paid, my kids are taken care of, and how to manage. Those are things you still got to work on. And it takes time. It's a process. So moving forward, he's telling everybody this. So he then came and went, I guess he got back or whatever. And so, like I said, I made one of his family members aware that the PO had came to my house. I did not say nothing to this man. I did not do nothing. I just saw him on the camera. So I sent the footage to him and I was like, I don't know what message you got, But I never said anything to your PO, and no one ever said that you were going to jail. I said if you missed court for a current thing that you had to deal with, then they were going to issue a warrant, which is true. Nothing about that is a lie. So now he's like going off because he like, oh, she gonna send me to jail, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no, that's not what was happening. And I don't know who lied to you. But that's what happens when you say stuff to family. So now at this point, I'm pissed because I'm like, okay, people playing roles in this, and I don't like that either. So moving forward, he has whatever conversation he needs to have with his parole officer. They come to an agreement on a day. So he tells me and my sister, like, hey, I'll be here on Tuesday to go ahead and see my PO. And that's exactly what he did. So he pulls up on Tuesday morning at about, I say like 9 o'clock. And he pulls up in a white car, a little white Altima. Y'all, I drive a 2017 Benz GLE 350 4MATIC. He pulls up in a 2001 Nissan Altima with an infant car seat in the back seat. One thing for sure and two things for certain, I look at everything. So now I want to see how this is going to play out. So I didn't mention anything about the car. I didn't say anything. He came to the house. I'm on my way out the door to go get my son something from the store, and he's on the porch. So when I'm looking at him, he does not look normal. He looks very sad. He looks very just out of it. Like he just looks drained. I have been crying. I have been hurting, kind of just back and forth in pain. And so my kids are like, Mom, we want you to stop crying. But at this point, like my emotions are everywhere. So he comes in the house and he's like, where were you finna go? I tell him where I was finna go. He was like, nah, I'll go get it. So he goes to go get it. He comes back to the house and he was like, we need to have a conversation. I'm like, okay, go ahead. Let's have a conversation. So he tells me, my PO is getting ready to pull up. I need to go out there, have a conversation with him, so on and so forth. So before his PO gets here, he's talking to me. He's apologizing. He's telling me, I'm making decisions that got you feeling like, I don't care about you and my baby. And I'm just telling him like, yeah, you are. Like you clearly are. Like I was in preterm labor over a week ago. You're just now coming here. You told me when I told you I was in preterm labor or that my back was hurting that I was being dramatic. So a lot of this is not making sense. Help me understand what's going on. What is it that's going on in your head right now? Because nothing is making sense. So before we get into like the details of our conversation, his PO does pull up. He goes talk to his PO. He come back and he just comes back in. But now he's like crying. Like when we talking, he's crying. Part 12 of Pregnant by a Man Living a Double Life. What's the word, birds? You already here with the boss mom. Let's keep it going. So I'm looking at him. He's definitely not normal. He's definitely not in his right mind. And at this point, I don't even think he's here. I just think now emotions have really got to the best of him because he's been doing this all this time. So now he's come down and reality is kicking in on what his reality is. And things are just kind of crazy. So he's crying and just saying, like, I just don't feel like a man. I don't feel like I'm doing enough and this, and that. So I'm asking him, like, where is this coming from? Because this got to be you telling you that because I'm not telling you that. So he's going on and on and on about, no, it's not you. It's not nothing that you are doing. It's just me. I just feel like I'm not doing enough. I always have to ask you, if you can help me with this. Once I do what I have to do, it's always a situation of, I got to still come back to you and ask you for stuff. And I said, look, I'm not complaining about you asking me for anything because at the end of the day, I don't feel like I'm enabling you. I feel like I'm helping you. If I'm showing you the way to do it, I'm not sitting up saying, okay, you can live like this forever. I'm trying to help you get yourself into a position where you can do things on your own and be that independent man. But that takes time. Let's remember, you were just incarcerated. So it's not that easy to just boom, jump back in the field and you just bam, getting on your feet. Like nobody's around here rich to my understanding. So shit, we got to work. Mind y'all, life been lifing for everybody. It ain't just him. Shit, it was for me too. Shit, I was figuring out at one point in time, like, damn, how I'm going to pay for this, and we got a new baby on the way. But guess what? One thing about it and two things for sure, I'm not going to give up. We grown. We made this baby. We knew what we was doing. And again, we wanted a family. So guess what? You got to make some sacrifices. Nigga, we got to get in the field. We going to have to do this. It's okay. So I'm, continuing to tell him, like, I don't understand this. Like, it's still not making sense. Because, again, you saying you want your independence. You want to be able to do this. You want to be able to do that. But in my head, what I'm feeling like is you really want to be out here in these streets. And you don't want to have the responsibility. But you want the lifestyle of having your own. But not actually doing what it takes to be on your own. And then you don't want the accountability piece of actually being a part of a family and running a household. So, nigga, you don't have no structure. So I failed to mention to you all prior to, but let me just quick disclaimer. Come to find out, all of the dramatics that he was doing about, oh, my mom needs me and my mom, da 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 da. She did call and ask. Don't get me wrong. I definitely felt like that was inconsiderate. She should have never did that. However, he used that as a crutch. She never made it to be as dramatic as he made it to be. He sat there and he lied. He went above and beyond. So we sitting there talking, and I'm just telling him, like, you really have to get your mind together. I think you need some therapy. Maybe let's look for you a counselor, because at this point, like, these feelings are not normal. The way you're choosing to cope is not normal, and how you living is not normal. So I go into where you been staying at. He tells me he's staying at his friend Gotti house, who's a guy who has a baby. So now I guess he called himself justifying the car seat that's in the car. Never did I ask about the car seat, but y'all just remember that. So now I'm like, okay, whatever. So he has court the next day for a situation that he has to deal with. And so I'm like, okay, something in my heart tell me like he not gonna get up on time, he not gonna be there, so on and so forth. So I still got this soft spot for him, but I'm still like, something ain't right, and my senses are going crazy. I got my friends looking up other stuff, but again, I'm still like, okay, let me see how this finna play out, because I know I'm not crazy. I just know I'm not crazy. So Wednesday comes, we get up. I'm texting him. I'm like, dude, you need to get up. Da 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 da. Da. He's not responding to me. He's not responding to his mom. Nobody. He's not responding to nobody. He's sleep cold. So what was he doing, y'all? Back here. Back here. So I go to court. They had me in the wrong courtroom for about an hour, hour and a half. He finally gets up. He makes it out here. He's driving this same white car. And so we get out there, we go to the right courtroom, and immediately, he's just kind of paranoid. He was like, they offered me a year. I'm like, what? A year? He was like, yeah, a year. And so in my head, I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to go. I don't want him to go to jail. Like, da 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 da. So the attorney comes over. She's talking to him. She's like, no, I'm not going to have you, do a year. I'm going to try to finesse that. Let's try to work on it. He called a blessing because, number one, he was late. Court date was at 9:30. Well, the time he was supposed to be there was at 9:30. He had some super, super sweet judge. She was somebody's civil rights mama who just don't want to see men go to jail, who don't want to see their men throw their life away. And she literally was like, okay, so what are you asking me? So pretrial services is what he got. So basically, instead of him being locked up, again, he's still fighting this case. Instead of him being locked up, guess what he's doing? He's now on house arrest. So I'm like, okay. So in my head, I'm like, okay, this might be good for him. I know house arrest is probably not ideal, but if you working, go to work, come home. You don't have nothing else better to do, because now you can't be in the streets. You can't be doing anything to get yourself in a bad place. You moving fast and coping real stupid. So this may help you. In my head, I'm thinking, okay, maybe this gonna get him on the right track. But boy, was I fucking wrong. So I'm going to drop the text messages of how crazy all of this is, because whole time they tell him like, oh, you know, you're going to have to call and they're going to have to come put the band on, blah, 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 blah. Now, a lot of the stuff that he's saying in these messages do not make sense, y'all. So don't try to make sense of it. Just know that I'm not slow. So when he's telling me all of this and he's feeding me all of this, I'm just listening like, okay. So he's telling me, oh, yeah, they're going to come to my job probably, or maybe they'll come to the house. I don't know, you know, but I'm going to call so they could go ahead and come put the band on, so on and so forth, right? So this is what happens from there. So at this point, you know, what he's explaining in the messages, as y'all can see, it just don't make sense. And if you're a person that knows the law and you're a person that knows how this stuff goes, down, 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 downhill. Now it's the question of, so where are you? And where did they come put this ban on? And are you really working, right? Part 13 of Pregnant by a Man Living a Double Life. What's the word, birds? You already here with the boss mom, so let's keep going. So everything that I know in my head to be true is true. But again, I'm not saying nothing. I'm keeping it cool, because at the end of the day, like, you can't make nobody tell you the truth. You just have to now start to put it together so that you know what you thinking is what it is and you not crazy. And that was just the place I was in. I knew I was not crazy. Like, I knew what I knew. So moving forward, it's the next day, Thursday. We now have a doctor's appointment. He knows that we have a doctor's appointment. And so I go ahead and I text him. So as you all can see, he's playing a role with me, trying to turn it back on me, and then just try to clean it up. Nah. Keep that same energy. You didn't say you loved me when I originally called you at 2 in the morning to check on you. Mind y'all, he's been telling me he's going to work. But we now know that may or may not be true. That's questionable. So we go to the doctor's appointment. Now, I'm there before him, as y'all saw from the text messages. He arrived a little bit after me. I don't know what car he got out of. And I honestly wasn't looking. I was in my phone editing my videos, because that's usually just what I do. So I see him walk in. He walks in. He sits down. We get to talking. It's kind of normal. I'm not going to say it's regular, but it's kind of normal. I update him on baby girl because he was not at the last ultrasound. And then we go ahead and get called to the back. So we meet with the midwife. She's checking on us, make sure everything's okay. She's asking me, you know, how I'm feeling, you know, talking to him. Everybody's, you know, actually communicating in the appointment. He participating, so on and so forth. So now the appointment is over. We walking out. We scheduled the next appointment. So he does know when the next appointment is. And so, like I said, we walk out. He walks me to my car, gave me a kiss, gave me a hug. I love you. This going to be over soon. Same shit he did the day before. But again, I don't know how he got there. So I get in my truck. I drive to the entry and exit way of the parking lot. And he's standing there, but he got his phone in his hand. So I'm guessing he's calling his ride. So in true Maya form, I'm like, you okay? You good? He's standing there with his phone. He like, yeah, my Uber on their way. Now, of course, y'all know I cannot see that shit from my car. He's standing outside the car. But he's like, yeah, my Uber on the way. It's like a transportation service with the job. The job take $15 a day out of our check for this. Okay. So I pull off. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever, so on and so forth. So I tell him, like, I'll let you know when I get home. So as we're texting before I get home, he lets me know that his phone is finna die. Now, this is where stuff gets real interesting because we are literally texting and now everything is just finna blow the fuck up. Because now it's like he all over the place trying to play mind games with me via text message. But then I'm trying to understand what it is. And whole time, it's just like a manipulation tactic. Like he's really just going back and forth with me, trying to play on my brain until he just can't do it no more. And at this point, I still think he's way up there with Jesus because that's how he ended up getting caught the way he did. Because at that point now, you can't go nowhere and you just fucked up and said the wrong thing. So now, shit, it's out there now. So now he done messed up. He done said the wrong thing because, remember, per the text message, he had just made it to work. And then you just woke up. I don't know no job that let you sleep for no 2-3 hours. Now, I don't know about y'all. But I don't know no job that lets you do that. So now, I know everything that I said it was, it is. Now be mindful. He has told me that he's not cheating. I looked him in the face, not one time, but 2 times, and asked him, was he cheating? And he told me no. And then proceeds to text me and basically say, because I don't want to be with you, that it's somebody else. Yeah, that's random as hell out of nowhere for somebody who ain't do nothing to you. So now I'm in a pickle because I'm at a place like I just got broke up with. I don't know what the heck is going on. My feelings is kind of all over the place. So like in a way I'm mad, but in a way I'm sad, but in a way I'm like curious. I got a whole lot of emotions going on at this point because I'm just like, what? Now, one thing about God, he works in mysterious ways. When you need to know the answer to something, he's going to give it to you, whether you want it or not. And I did not want this answer. I'm not even going to lie to y'all. I wanted to stay in denial. I didn't want this answer. So randomly, I get a text from one of my friends saying, hey, ain't this your baby daddy? Ain't this your boyfriend? And it's his Instagram. She sends a screenshot of him and a female hugging on his Instagram story. I thought you weren't cheating. So now I'm like on 10. Because I'm like, I knew it. But again, I'm like, okay, I got to figure this out. Because what the fuck? And when I say figure this out, not figure out so much as to who she is, but what the fuck? Like, what's wrong with you at this point? Because, So, my friends is my friends. They do not play. They gonna get it done. So, of course, they found her page. They sent it to me.
So we all looking at it. I had activated my Instagram back. I'm not gonna lie. I activated my Instagram back because I'm like, what? So I'm looking at the story, and it's like every story that's being posted is a shot towards me. Literally. Every story that's being posted is a shot at me. So he knows that I know that he's cheating at this point because I've had prior conversations with other people that day. I'm on 10. I'm going off because I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you could have just told a motherfucker you didn't want to be with a motherfucker, but to go this far, like, what we doing? And that shit embarrassing as hell to come to my motherfucking phone. Like, for real? So I'm going to show y'all a message that I sent him well before now, which made me knew that he was cheating. And I gave him a hint that I knew he was cheating. And he still didn't even take the hint to be like, okay, let me tell her the truth. Like nothing. He just didn't care. So I know me. I know I am not the girl who put my booty on the, internet. I know I'm not the girl who always twerking. I'm not always the fun girl. I be about my business. I do enjoy myself. I do be out, but I be on my business and I be about my kids, and when you have a lot of transitions go on in your life, you kind of limit what you do. So as I'm looking, I'm just like, wow, I'm a little like appalled because I'm like, Dig, for you to be feeding me all of this BS of what you don't like and what you don't want. You don't like all the big baby hairs and the frontals and all the ghetto stuff, but that is the total opposite of what you're saying you don't like. So what are we really talking about here? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When I went to look at this page, I thought that this young lady was going to be just cold. And when I say cold, I mean like body cold, got her business and stuff on point. Like this girl got to be an upgrade for you to be going so far doing what you're doing. It got to be like, it's something. I'm like, okay. At this point, I'm just clueless because I'm like, this not real. This can't be it. This? Oh, hell no. Part 14 of Pregnant by a Man Living a Double Life. Now, I had to remake this video, y'all, because TikTok deleted it. I don't know if somebody reported it. I don't know what happened, and I don't even care. Like, it is what it is. What's the word, birds? You already here with the boss mom, so let's get right back into it. Now, this one is going to be shorter because it's a little bit paraphrased, but I'm going to make a small disclaimer up in here as well because people clearly don't know the definition of defamation of character and slander. So we going to make sure that we have those definitions present. So now I see who this young lady is, and I'm like, okay, this is who he's dealing with. And again, that was something you brought her in. I didn't know nothing. I was sent these messages. I was told about you and this girl's relationship. I didn't know anything. So for you or her to be upset with me for finding out how y'all was moving is insane. So for anyone to be upset with me and all, bent out of shape, that can't even be because, again, I didn't know this young lady. I didn't know nothing about this girl. I was sent these pictures. And even then, I wasn't even sent her social media. I went through his social media and typed in the name that he told me and found out who she was. It had nothing to do with that. Someone sent me a picture and I did my own research. I openly admitted and said that I activated my Instagram back for that day. And then in 7 days, I deactivated my stuff back. So how was I doing anything or saying anything? You can't show one post of me making a comment towards you or her. You cannot pull up one post of me making anything about either of them because they don't exist. Absolutely. Once I found out who you were and I looked at your story, of course you're going to see my name in your story. But how did you know that was my name? Wait. How did you know that was my name? How did you know that was my friends' names? Because he's sitting there telling you that's who that person is. That's who that person is. Block this person. Block that person. Again, it's not on me. It's on this man. Again, he said her name. I never knew her name. We are all females, and let's just talk again as women. If I was on the other foot as a woman, you would go look too. Any female would go look to see who it is. So why is me looking at your story now a reason for you to take shots at me? Me looking at your story and who you was innocent. I didn't comment. I didn't make any posts to say anything about you once I saw it. I literally just looked at it that night. And then my friends continued to look at it and find more and more shots being taken at me. Again, I had never said anything. Nobody can pull up anything, not one post. I didn't start going off and really saying something about anything until after I was very, very clear, and so was my friend, that leave me out of that. Y'all got what y'all got going on. You made your decision. I can continue to show text messages and me saying, you made your decision. You chose what you chose. So again, why is now me looking at your story your reasoning for taking shots? So this is their reasoning, so he say, of why she started taking shots, which again makes no sense. Is no justification for it. Again, the problem is him, not me at all, because I said nothing to you or about you. So y'all see for yourself. He just sat up and explained how this all played out for months. That means y'all been messing around for months, but I didn't know anything about anything up until May. And I have the proof of that. You've played with me as if we were still together in a relationship when you had a whole nother relationship going on with this woman, not me. And then furthermore, because I went and looked at your Instagram story, come on now, be for real. Let's grow up and be adults. Everybody look at everybody's Instagram story. And because I looked at her Instagram story and she saw me in her views, that's a reason to start taking shots at me in social media. That's the justification. Like y'all digging yourself in a deeper hole. That don't even make sense. So because I look at your story, my friends looked at your story. Now that's a reason to take shots at me. Now that's a reason to continue to make it overly, overly known. Oh, that's my man. Oh, I took the man. All of that. That's all necessary for me, a 8-month pregnant woman who ain't said nothing to you, who has not said nothing to you. Even when I called this man, I called him and spoke to him. That's not my fault if he chose to put me on speakerphone. What I had to say was to him. My anger was directed to him. So you directing your anger and antagonizing me to say what? That you got a man? It's not like you got the man fair and square. Y'all hid. Y'all hid and did what y'all did. He lied about everything when it came to you, the vacations, all of this. He couldn't just take you out of town just because that's what he wanted to do. He had to lie to everybody else around him to do that. So again, how is the anger directed towards me? Why are the shots being taken at me? Because again, I didn't say nothing, but because you saw me in your Instagram story views, do you know how many people I see in my views all the time and I don't assume that they're talking about me? Come on now. You only assumed that because you knew you was wrong, just like he knew he was wrong. Get up out of here. So let's look at some definitions, y'all, because I'm just still trying to figure out where any of this applies to this situation. It don't, but okay. Now, I know legalities, and I am very, 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 very well abreast on how all of that works. In order for you to sue anybody for defamation of character, you have to, 1, be lying. I'm not lying. Number 2, you have to then prove that I'm lying. You can't prove that I'm lying because I have the receipts showing that I'm not lying. Number 3, you then have to be able to say, when I told this alleged lie, that I knew it was a lie. But again, it has to be a lie. So that still disqualifies you. And then 4, it has to stop you from making money. What has stopped you from making money? Nothing. I've stopped nobody. I ain't called nobody jobs. I ain't been up to nobody jobs. I ain't been to nobody cribs. None of that. So again, how you gonna sue me for anything? But again, if that's what you choose to do or choose to go that route, okay. So because now I know who this other young lady is, and because you continue to play in not only my face, but her face as well. Now I can't speak to how you played in her face because I don't know the nature of y'all relationship. I only know what you telling me. And you tried to tell me that this was your friend. That was a guy, number one. And then when I found out it's a girl, now it's, oh, that's my best friend. That's been my best friend for years. Maybe it has, maybe it hasn't. But if this been your best friend, why I ain't never met her? Why you ain't never brought her up? Because you brought up the other female friend that you had. It was never a problem to talk about her. So again, where she come from? But then let's get to the nature of y'all relationship. Like, really? Really? The nature of y'all relationship don't got nothing to do with me. I never knew about her. Never, ever, ever knew about her. So why is the shots being taken at me? If you with this man, there was no reason for no type of post to be made about, oh, you know, he mad now and forever. I should have did this and that. Or I'm glad I don't have no baby mama, baby daddy. All of that shouldn't have never even been brought up. Because again, what is your issue with me? I was brought into this situation with y'all. If y'all supposedly been knowing each other all these years, why y'all didn't do that then? Why wait till I'm 8 months pregnant? It don't even make sense. So now that the truth is out, you can't do nothing but throw your hands up and wave the white flag. But you trying to save face for you and this young lady. No, ain't no saving face for neither one of y'all. Y'all both was wrong, and y'all knew y'all was wrong from jump. Part 15 of Pregnant by a Man Living a Double Life. What's the word, birds? You already here with the boss mom. So yeah, here you go. So now my friend like see, you know, when he said this and when he said that. And boy, when I tell you, the man told me he out of town. He doing this, he doing that. He making sure this is straight for his relative. He making this straight for his relative. Like, he's really making me believe that this is what he's doing when he's out of town. Whole time, he on vacation with her. So you done lied to me. And again, I'm just very curious as to what you said to her. Because at this point, is she okay with this? Was she okay being the side girl? Was you lying to her at this point in time? Was you in a double relationship? What's going on? Because in my head, what everybody else saw, we was a couple. And that was in March. So what are we talking about? Y'all saw the messages that I don't want to be in a relationship. That came way in May. In March, we were very much in a relationship, very much having sex, very much living together. So when you're telling me you going out of town to go handle this and I'm trusting that's what you're doing, and how are you okay with that, knowing that your daughter and me are high risk, we're at home, and you just flat out lying? You just flat out lying, and you out of town with this girl for what? That's more important right now? But let's take it a step further. He's on what, y'all? Parole. Is he even supposed to be out of town? Now, these are the messages supposedly when he left to go to California to see his grandma. Now, he telling me, you know, be comfortable. He missing me. He love me. Whole time, y'all, he is out of town with this lady. Whole vacation with a whole nother woman, living a whole nother life. The man is crazy. Like, I don't even understand. And I mean, he really kept this shit up. So after doing a little research, y'all see, like I see, he was not in Cali alone. And we were not broken up. So that's cheating. You living a whole nother life with this girl out in California, like I'm not sitting here pregnant with your baby. Strike one. So I told y'all, he was texting me like crazy, back and forth, like it was normal when he was in Cali. Whole time, it's one thing when you know something. It's another thing when what you know is confirmed. And look who decided to tell on them. Ain't that crazy? So now everything is in question. So now I'm questioning the second trip. Because remember, you told me you had to go stand on business for your child. You done made it seem like you got to do all of this stuff, you know, as it relates to your child and as it relates to custody when whole time that's not even true. So not only did you lie about the severity of why you had to go out of town the first time, you gonna go out of town a second time with this lady? So these the messages when he went out of town. Again, telling me he got to handle all of this stuff, all of the doggone boarding and everything. Just feeding me a whole bunch of BS while he gone. Whole time he is now on his second vacation with his side girl. And this is really crazy because, once again, who's boasting about it? Who's talking about it? Who's just feeling oh so lovely and VIP? And again, remember he told me that I don't make him feel wanted. I don't make him feel like he doing enough. Do these messages seem like somebody who's telling you that you're bothering them or that you're not doing enough? Like, come on now, dude. Be for real. Then you turned around and you say you needed space. How you need space and you been out of town not once, but now twice with this girl. Then you sending me these pictures and you sending me all this bullshit. Like I'm supposed to continue to be like, okay, well, that's what he's doing. And at the time, I knew that's not what he was doing, but I had to make sure for me that until I had the actual factuals, that I wasn't going to blow that shit. But y'all see like I see, this shit is crazy. And the man has a whole nother life, a whole nother woman. They are vacationing. He got a whole nother life with no responsibilities, no accountabilities. Baby, I don't even exist in this old life, this other life, okay? Like, it's crazy. I only exist in this other life via his phone. That's it. That's all. So now I'm like, the audacity, you gonna do it 2 times. So not only do y'all not care about each other, because you don't care about her reputation, how that's gonna look, but she don't care that you have children, your freedom. You steady going out of town. I'm really trying to understand. Like, what? So weeks go on, and now I'm just like, this is crazy. And when I say weeks, maybe like a week or 2 has gone on, and it's been on my mind to say something because I'm just like, I just can't believe that this is what's going on. And I know for a fact this is what's going on because, once again, as long as a person confirms it, what else is it? Long and behold, who's bragging again? No, baby, that clear account had a punch on it. And no 4-day trip. Y'all asses got stuck because them flights clipped. So now it's all making sense. You done did some low down dirty stuff. You done lied and lied and lied and lied. Included all these people in these lies. Making people believe that, oh, you having this male mental crisis and, you know, you need some, you know, just time and space to yourself. And whole time you've been cheating and lying and having a whole nother relationship on the side, going out of town with a girl, and I'm sitting here pregnant with your child. Who fucking does that? Like, I know it's some low shit in the world, but for real? So again, I don't have a Facebook right now. I don't have an Instagram right now. So all of this stuff is being sent to me. And the more stuff being sent to me, the more I question and question and question and question. Now, there's a couple things that I failed to mention because I didn't feel like they were important right then and there. But once again, everything that's done in the dark always comes to the light. Trust me when I say that. So again, remember y'all, this is now the second time he went out of town. But remember, I said he went to go see his mother too. So that's out of town again. Guess who was right there with him? Passenger 57. So now he done went out of town again for the 3rd time. And I'm just like, this is crazy. This man been doing this all this time. And what's so funny is, in the midst of him going out of town the last time when it was time for him to return, I don't know if he thought about the return policy or how that works when you leave and you got to come back. He's around asking other people to assist him with getting a rental car, to assist him with getting back home. Now, what's crazy to me is if you're going to take her out of town, she at least needs to be an asset to the vacation. Why she can't rent a car? Oh, because you got to be 25. Okay. So that explains why you wanted me to rent you a car when you was saying you was going down to see your mom the first time. That's why. Why she couldn't rent it. You wanted to get out of town with her so bad because now it's all making sense. Now it's coming out. You was never going by yourself. Because let me just put this on the table. I offered to go with you, your pregnant girlfriend. You made a big deal. Why I can't go with you to your mama house, pregnant with her grandbaby, your baby, and my shit? Make it make sense. Part 16 of Pregnant by a Man Living a Double Life. What's the word, birds? You already hit with the boss mom, so let's get back into it. So now his whole shit blew up. Everything is coming out. All the lies. And I'm not just talking about the few lies that we've covered now. I'm talking about the lies that I even asked about prior to this and I didn't mention. And now everything is all making sense. So we now discovered that Gotti is not a male, it's a female. And whether it's your best friend or not, y'all together. Y'all got a whole little thing going on. And she's made that very clear on social media. And you've allowed her to make that very clear on social media. And let's just talk woman to woman here. Now, I know every woman has their own standards and feel like, oh, I don't owe her no loyalty. And you don't, darling. You don't owe me any loyalty. But you owe yourself the confidence. You owe yourself the dignity, the morale to not do what you're doing. You've known about me the whole time. I knew nothing about you. Literally. You knew about me. You knew that I was pregnant. You knew that when you was going out of town with this man, that he was not only leaving me, but he was leaving his child. What do that say about you? You okay with being a voluntary side woman? So let's even take it a step further. Not only was you cheating with this man, knowing that he was in a relationship, knowing that he got a fresh baby on the way, knowing that he wasn't supposed to be out of town, but then you gonna take it a step further. You was in my motherfucking truck. Oh, y'all thought I didn't know about that? Yeah, I know about that too. Y'all seen me do my makeup on camera. Y'all seen my makeup. I don't wear the long, thick, ghetto lashes. I don't wear that. It's nothing against those who do, but I don't wear that. And y'all know that. He know that. So why the fuck am I finding that type of lash in my motherfucking truck? So I look at this one of two ways. Either you got tired of being a secret and you wanted me to find that lash up in that truck, or he didn't know that you left that lash up in that truck, which now is questioning what the fuck was you doing in my truck that you lost the lash. Because see, if he didn't know you left the lash in the truck, then that means that you left it for me to see, or y'all was doing some shit up in that motherfucker y'all wasn't supposed to be doing, and it was dark. And guess what? You couldn't go back and get it or find it. But then another scenario crossed my mind. And hey, all bets is off now because remember, y'all wanted to play this game. Did he tell you that was his truck? I hope that ain't what the fuck he told you, boo. Because it's not. Was he allowed to drive it? Yes. Did I give him freedom, to make sure he was able to go handle the things that he was supposed to handle? Yes. Did he take advantage? Hell yeah. But you as the woman, again, you knew about me. So if this is your best friend, you know everything that's going on and you know that's not his truck. So again, you wanted me to see that? You okay with being the woman on the other side? You okay with being the woman that he degrades and keeps as a secret and got to lie about? The only place he could be seen with you is out of town? Be for real, baby. Be for real. You should have thought more of yourself than that, baby. You supposed to thought you had motion. This shows nothing. Nothing. So let's go back to the lash thing. I asked him about it. My son was the one who found the lash. My youngest son gets in the car. He picks it up and say, "Oh, mommy, here go your lash." Nah, that ain't mommy's, baby. I say, hey, go in the house and tell them, come outside and I'll call you when I'm ready for us to go to the store. So he comes outside. I say, who lashes this? I don't know. Well, it's only two of us in this motherfucker who could drive. So I'm going to ask you again, who lashes this? Babe, I don't know. He goes into the whole defensive thing. I swear to God, I don't know who lashed it is, babe. Ain't nobody been in this car. Now, y'all know I am not boo-boo the fool. But again, you hold your information because you'll never tell your right what your left gonna do. Never. Now, this could have happened the same night, or y'all decided y'all was going to rotate and do this shit again. But either way it go, it's coming out. Because guess who gets in my car now? My cousin. We on the way to my sister's dad's funeral. My cousin get in the car like, cousin, I need some perfume. And matter of fact, no, I'm lying. We was on our way to the repast. And she like, cousin, I need some perfume. I'm like, look up in the armrest. I think I got a few body mists and a little lotion up in there. Guess what she finds in the motherfucking armrest? She finds some perfume. I said, that's not mine. She was like, for real? That's not mine. Well, can I have it? Of course you can have it. That shit ain't mine. But now it's a question of whose is it? Now, I never mentioned that to him because, again, now it's going to be a question of if you're going to tell the truth at all. You lied about the lash. So if I bring up some perfume, you're not finna tell me that that's her perfume. But now I know that everything that I knew from the past without having a name, without having a person to attach to, that it was a female involved. So it's at this point that everything is making sense. So now either she's tired of being a secret and now she got to leave stuff for me to see, or she just flat out to get me and hurt me because of the man. But remember, this is what you signed up for. You knew this man was in a relationship. You knew I was pregnant. I've been pregnant since October, baby. He's been knowing since I was 6 weeks. The man been at every doctor's appointment up until you and him got into this little entanglement situation or whatever y'all call yourself doing. So now we're going to take it a step further. All of the night securities, remember I told y'all, he chose the day where he said, oh, she told me, the she as in the lady who's over the security company, told him that he had to work overnight randomly. Y'all know he didn't work overnight. He actually wasn't working at all. He put me on days and her on days. So he then told me that these are the days that he's supposed to work these hours and these are the days he's supposed to work these hours. Whole time, you ain't working, motherfucker. You working, but you working something totally motherfucking different. And it ain't no goddamn security job because you ain't securing a motherfucking thing. So I guess he said he gonna take a chance that day. And the night he had to work overnight, he spent the night out at this lady's house. So again, not only do you leave me at home multiple times, pregnant, high risk, not giving a fuck about me, not giving a fuck about your baby, not giving a fuck about this household, but then you gonna take it a step further. You gonna take her out of town and you gonna leave me in the house in town. Nigga, you are wilding the motherfuck out, okay? So let's keep it going. So now we're here. It's all out. I know everything. I know what I know has been true. She knows that I know it's true. He knows that I know it's true. And now it's a catastrophe. Now it's a battle of, oh, she's this bitter baby mama and she just mad that she don't want to be with me. But mind you, he didn't know that I knew all of this stuff. I have been keeping everything a secret. Everything that I wanted to know, it came out and it confirmed itself. So let's take it a step further. I also had to confirm that you remember that Montana trip that he, was supposedly going on to go fight for custody and make sure he had to get all this stuff done for his oldest child and to make sure he was standing on business. Yeah, that was all a lie too. I spoke with very reliable resources. I'm not even going to put them out there. Just know she's not lying on him either, baby. All of that was a lie. And for what? You've gone to the extent of lying on all of your relatives, all these close people to you, dragging all these people in this shit. And I'm talking about for real lying. All for what? When I say I was beyond disgusted, y'all, I was beyond disgusted. I'm just like, really? Really? It was worth that. It was worth that. Okay, y'all, so I don't know why part 17, the sound was off. I'm guessing my video got reported again, which is cool. Y'all know I really don't care. I'm here for it. But part 17 of Pregnant by a Man Living a Double Life. What's the word, birds? You already here with the boss mom, so let's get right back into it again. So let's take things a step further. So now the cat's out the bag. Everything is out so far as to what he thinks I know. And he decides he's going to move out. So he takes all his stuff and he goes and moves with her. Now, I'm not sure if that's in her own place or if she stays with someone. But from what I was told, and my sources have been very, very reliable, from what I was told, he moved out to move with her and her people. So I'm not going to get into specifics because that's besides the point. The point is you're still not independent. What about that move made you more independent from leaving a woman who owns their own house to going to somebody's apartment? Huh? Now, let me be clear. When he was here, he had freedom to come and go as he pleased. No one had him locked up like he was, no slave or anything. And again, you had keys. You could come and go as you wanted to freely. So the fact that you would change your parole site, number one, when the reason you already got the sparing that you got at court is because of the fact that I was pregnant and you had a baby on the way. You took advantage of that. So you not only just used me, you used your daughter too in court. So if y'all remember previously, I don't remember what part it is, but previously in the messages, he tried to make me believe that he couldn't have parole and house arrest at the same place. Like I'm a dummy. No, you absolutely can. It's very much so possible. So not only did you forfeit your chance of being around your younger new baby, my child, you forfeited your chance of being around your oldest child too. Like, make it make sense. All for what? For what? So for me, I look at this a couple of ways. There's no dignity. There's no morale. There's no decency in anything that neither one of them did. So I'm going to start with him specifically. I asked him not one time, not two times, but 3 times and gave you a hint, which I dropped that screenshot as well, stating that, are you cheating on me? I asked. You continue to lie. So that makes you a user if you were sitting here unhappy and still, here like you wanted to be this family man when you were so unhappy. Like, I don't understand why you stayed. You could have definitely said, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. And it didn't have to go like this. But then it's basically like you put this girl or this young lady, whoever, whatever she is to you, above your kids. Not just my kid, but your oldest child too. Like, how do you do that? Your child, neither one of them really deserves that. And all for what? Like, you still have nothing to show for it. You went out of town multiple times. You didn't come back with no money. You didn't come back with no car. You didn't come back a millionaire. You didn't come back with no brand deals, no job, like nothing. You simply just went out of town to enjoy life with this young lady as if you don't have no responsibilities. I'm really not understanding. But as for her too, it's just for me looking at the whole situation. Where did you look at, if you love him so much and this is your man and this is the man that you want to be with? He has children. He has responsibility. At what point did you say, okay, no, you need to make sure that you're there for your children? Now, supposedly, and I quote, she did tell him to come back. My thing is, if you told him to come back, why would he still be at your house? Because for me, if I told somebody that they couldn't stay with me because of their situation prior to, that was just that. There is no, oh, I'm giving in and then you can come. But let's take it a step further. So this man decided he was going to use my debit card that was on his FanDuel account when we were together. Now, I didn't take it off because I don't even use FanDuel. And again, I didn't even think that's something you would do. The audacity to use my card is crazy. But the man goes on and makes a bet and says to my sister, like, hey, let her know that I used her card to make a bet on FanDuel for $10. Now, me, I don't give a fuck if it's $5, $10, $15, $20, $1. It's my dollar. You didn't have the dollars to use it. You didn't have the dollars to do it, so you shouldn't have been using my card. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you use somebody's stuff without their permission, I want to say that's called what? Y'all drop that in the comments for me, because I'm just really trying to understand. But like I said, they're a unit. My man, my man, my man. So why aren't you able to provide your card for your man? Why is he using my card? I don't get it. Like, I really don't understand why he's using my card. But then furthermore, if that's your man, you're supposed to be nurturing him. You're supposed to be assisting him. You're supposed to be doing all of those things to ensure that he's on the straight and narrow. What happened? Did y'all miss the memo? I'm a little confused. Okay, so using the card was one thing. I'm not tripping over $10. He did Apple Pay the $10 to my sister. And I just told my sister, like, I don't want it. At the end of the day, I don't want it. I'm just over this whole thing. But let's keep going. So I have doctor's appointments that I schedule every week, y'all. The man has not came to not one. Since he's been messing with this girl, he came to one. The one where he was still trying to manipulate and keep both she and I. And let's be clear, it's not that he doesn't have the appointment times, dates, or locations. He has all of them. Now, let him tell it according to my sister or to my friend. I can't even remember which one he told this to. That he deleted the text thread, so he no longer has it. Okay, whatever. It's kind of mind-boggling, though, that you deleted the text thread, but you're logged into my email. That's per you. So if you're logged into my email and you told that to my sister, why is it that you couldn't see the time, the date, and you know the location? Nothing has changed. I've been going to the same 2 doctors my whole entire pregnancy. So again, from me looking on the outside in as the woman, why wouldn't you encourage this man to go to the doctor's appointments for his child, his brand new child? Not that you should even be dealing with this man with a brand new child in the first place, but that's neither here nor there. The least you could have did was made sure he got to the appointments, because the child is innocent. Now, it's a complete difference in coming to my house. You come to my house unannounced, I understand that. You know, that's a different type of situation. But coming to a public place, the doctor's office, the hospital, where you know this is where the appointments are, is crazy. So for you to keep using that as an excuse, no. Now let's take it a step further. Not only do you not come to the appointments, not only were you using my card and you moved out to go be with this lady, you then take it a step further to pillow talk to her about my business. What are we really doing here? Like, how old are we? Why is my business or anything that has to do with me coming up in your mouth as it pertains to her? And why is she able to repeat it verbatim or make a joke about it or do anything? Like, help me understand that. Now, let's be clear. I could have very much taken shots at her from the beginning, because I know how their relationship started. I ain't gonna drop that, but I definitely will answer it during the Q&A, because it's not your ideal situation. And again, no morals, no decency, no integrity, nothing. This is even more insane on how they ended up together, because they both nasty. Now let him tell it. The first shot that I saw was not for me. Okay, fine. I'll give you a pass on that one. But the second one was very much so about me. Because, number one, I'm your baby mama. So who would be the BMBD post about? And number two, why was it made exactly after I got off the phone with him? I got off the phone with him. I said what I said. He said what he said. That was the end of that. And then my friend proceeded to call him. I wasn't even around my friend when she called him. I got around her after they were already on the phone. And who do I hear in the background? She don't care. We went looking at her stuff. She could say what she want to say. The shot was definitely for me. So at this point, I take it that you want me to know who you are. You want it to be seen. And basically, you want war. And again, I let a lot of stuff go. That's just the beginning of the shots. They kept going and going and going for 3 weeks. And let's just be clear, you shouldn't have said nothing. but he made you comfortable enough to feel like you could. Part 18 of Pregnant by a Man Living a Double Life. What's the word, birds? You already here with the boss mom, so let's keep this going. All right, so let's fast forward now to present day. At this point, he's been gone for maybe like the last 3-4 weeks, and I decided I was going to drop my series last Friday. So once I dropped my series on Friday, or no, maybe it was Thursday. I actually decided I was going to drop it on Thursday. So I dropped my series on Thursday. Maybe about 6 or 7 parts had came out, and then all of a sudden I showed y'all I was getting all of these no caller ID calls. And my thing is, you've been going around asking everybody, oh, how's Maya? How's the baby? How's Maya? How's the baby? But what have you done to actually see how Maya and the baby is? Nothing. All right, I had to switch rooms real quick because my ring light had died. Can't be doing that. However, nothing has been done on his end on any efforts to ensure that his daughter's stuff is okay, that her health is okay, that things that are needed to be put together, I put together. Y'all saw my videos prior to. I did all my nesting, everything put together for my baby on my own. I did not have any help from him. And then that's what's so baffling to me, that you could be watching my TikToks. You got so much time to watch my TikToks. You, her friends, her sisters, whoever, got so much time to troll on my stuff because now I'm telling my story on my platform and now it's a problem. What's the issue? So when I was the one crying and upset and in the dark and frustrated, it wasn't a problem for her to throw the shots that she was throwing at me on her platform. But now that I'm actually speaking up and telling the truth with receipts, now it's a problem. So I went live Friday, and let me just address the live. I don't know who it was jumping to her defense on the live, and I really don't care. At the end of the day, whatever he's pillow talking and was saying to them, they clearly felt comfortable enough to get on my live and discuss it or say it. Because not once have I ever called the police on this man. Not once. The other comment that really kind of struck a nerve was the whole, you're always calling his mom. No, not exactly. Because his mom was blocked. And my sister had reached out to everyone and had just told them to kind of leave me alone to get my own mental health and sanity in order. Because I'm not going to lie, y'all, I was kind of jacked up when this all first started. I didn't know which way to go. But as the lies kept coming out and things kept coming out, I just began to get more and more disgusted on how things was playing out. Like, why are you even so frustrated and upset? Like, look what was really going on. For real, for real. But I guess for me, I'm a little confused because as far as I know, family structure is the mother, the father, the grandparents. So even if I was reaching out to his mother, which is my child's grandmother, what would be the issue? Because she doesn't have an issue. So I'm confused as to why it was her business, her sister's business, her friend business, or hell, even his business. Because again, I don't talk to him. So again, let's take it even a step further. Y'all saw the messages. Y'all saw the threats. It was going to be, oh, you're going to start airing out my family secrets. Don't know what that would be. But again, suit yourself. And then it turned into, oh, you were going to then sue me for defamation of character. So you can't spell defamation, which iPhones do have autocorrect if I'm not mistaken. So suing me for defamation of character is not possible. But suing me for defamation of character is still not possible. Because we went over those definitions and clearly none of this is even in the ballpark for a lawsuit. But why you want to sue me? I guess that's why I'm confused at, and maybe somebody can help me out. You want to sue me for, again, using my platform to tell my story and then tell the truth. And because you and this young lady were exposed or told about, now you want to sue? Why? So let's keep going because it just doesn't stop. So now the week has started and he's texting my friend pretty much all day saying, oh, I want to talk to her. I want to talk to her. And I'm at a place of, I don't want to talk to you. I don't have anything to say to you. You made your bed. You lay in it. You made your decision. There's really nothing to talk about. But when he's talking to her, he's still not telling all of the truth. He's telling some of the truth, but not all of the truth. And the one lie that really gets me, that kind of got me like, it was funny when he said it was, oh, I left those things in the car on purpose. No, you did not. Because number one, my son found the lash. And no woman tells you, oh yeah, here you go. You can keep one lash and put it on the floor or put it right there. It was damn near under the seat. So how did you purposely leave this lady lash? So you mean to tell me this girl gave you one of her lashes and said, here you go. You can leave this in her car? Stop, man. Just stop. Or my personal favorite about the perfume. Y'all, when I went to look where it was in the armrest, when my cousin was explaining where it was at, it was under a bunch of his cologne. You didn't leave that on purpose, baby. That was literally sat there, and then you covered it up with your colognes so that it wouldn't be seen. You didn't leave that on purpose. And again, every time he's talking to my friend via text, telling her, I want to talk to her, I just want to tell her, where I was wrong, and, I did this and I did that. It was all on me. No, it wasn't all on you, because again, y'all saw the messages prior to. He very much admitted that she knew who I was. So no, it's both of y'all. She very much knew that was my truck. No, that was both of y'all. So why is it that you feel like now, after everything is out, that now you want to come to me and admit everything? I don't need you to admit anything now. I've been Sherlock Holmes for weeks. But then he just go a step further with the nonsense. He proceeds to say, oh, it wasn't just her. I was kicking it with other females. Whether you was kicking it with other females or not, I found out about her. The other females wasn't getting taken out of town. The other females wasn't supposedly in my truck, as I know. The other females' stuff wasn't left in my truck. So at the end of the day, what are we talking about here? Don't try to come admit now after I done been Inspector Gadget. I know what I want to know, and I know what I needed to know and who I needed to know about. And at the end of the day, this young lady, the one that you decided to make your main side chick, is the one I got an issue with. Everybody else you was kicking with, by all means, go kick it with them again. But that's why I have a problem, because the disrespect was directly at me. Every day I tell my mama I wish I'm waking up in a movie, in a dream, that some cameras gonna just come out and be like, you got punked. Because this stuff is mind-boggling. So not only does this man try to admit it and halfway admit it, but now you trying to wave your white flag for what? It's a stop? Because I'm not going to stop. Because like I told my friend and my sister, had I not got on TikTok and made this series, had I not outed the both of them, would you be admitting this? No, you would not. You would still be lying about everything. So no, I'm not going to stop. Y'all going to deal with whatever comes with this. So, y'all, I literally went out on Thursday with my friend. I know I was supposed to be on bed rest, man, y'all business. But I did go out with my friend, and I really had a good time. I really had a good time. I ate some food, listened to some good music, saw some people that I know. It just felt good to get out and kind of have a breath of fresh air. Why did I get home and check my TikTok, and I got a message from this girl on TikTok? So I've never come to any woman as a woman because, number one, the problem has always been with the man. And I said that. The only reason I have a problem with this young lady is because you knew. And even had you handled things and been quiet, it probably wouldn't have gotten this far. But that's not what you chose to do. You chose to be loud and make yourself known. So the audacity of you to come to me and try to tell on the man now, after y'all was outed, where was all of this energy when you was making all of these posts? Where was all this energy when you were out of town with him? Because you surely wasn't thinking about me then. You wasn't trying to be grown then. So let's not even do the grown thing, because you will never be grown to me in this situation. What was the point? Was that to have me take the bait to call you so then we could squash this and I can stop recording or stop dropping the videos? No, that's not going to happen. So that is the current situation now. I said what I said, and I blocked her as well. Me and you don't have nothing to talk about, just like me and him don't have nothing to talk about. Part 19 of Pregnant by a Man Living a Double Life. What's the word, birds? You already here with the boss mom, so let's wrap this shit up. So at this point, I get a lot of DMs and a lot of comments of like, what you gonna do? And, you know, everybody has their opinions on how they gonna do things, how they gonna handle things, especially when it comes to their child, when it comes to their relationship, all of that good stuff. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm at a place of I just want peace. You know, mentally, I'm trying to continue to get myself to be in a okay place, not only with the situation, but just with my reality. At the end of the day, this little girl, she has nothing to do with anything. And so as her mom, my main job is to protect her. Not only her, but I still have 2 sons that need that mental, you know, protection as well. At this present moment, me, myself, I just don't want to be bothered with anybody. I know that's her dad, and I know that he does love her. I do really, really think that he loves her, but I also think that he has some things that he has to deal with. And as for me, I don't want to be the person that has to sit on the sideline and be the person that's going to continue to take the backlash or be the punching bag while you figure it out. I just don't. And when I say punching bag, not physically, but mentally, emotionally, I don't want to keep taking those type of hits. Especially with a newborn baby. I just don't. I want my daughter to enjoy her years. I want her to know that she is loved. I want her to have the best of the best, and the only way that is going to happen is if I continue to keep on the straight and narrow like I am and just say, you know what, this is what it is. Come to terms with it and know that, yes, he does love her. I know that he knows that, but your actions don't show that. And when your actions are not showing that, I can't go off of maybe or what I think. I have to go off what's being presented to me. I'm a grown-ass woman. I do not wish bad on him or her. I wish both of them the best. I hope that whatever God has for them, that they get it. But one thing I do know is karma waits on nobody. And at the end of the day, there's no ditching this karma. So however that may come up for either of them, that's kind of just how it goes. But as for me, I don't wish anything bad on them at all. I'm no longer angry. The hurt part is still there. That's going to always be there. Because, again, that's my daughter's father. We going to be honest and we human at the end of the day. Those feelings for a person don't just go away. But at that same time, you have to learn when enough is enough. I will say this situation has definitely taught me a lot about just being nice to people and opening up to be really nice to people. I know that's kind of messed up because I don't want to have to change who I am as a person to live. But at the same time, now there's a sense of protection that I have to not only give myself, but my daughter and my sons, because it's 4 broken hearts in this situation. Myself, I have 2 sons, and then my daughter. She gets the butt end of the stick because she's coming into something that, number 1, she knows nothing about. Number 2, she doesn't deserve. And number 3, she didn't ask for. But again, that's a reflection of the parents. As I end this series, I do want to thank everybody for the genuine support. I know there were people on here that just want to hear the story, and that's fine too. I'm not mad at it. I don't feel no type of way. I thank you for those who wanted to just listen, those who gave their input, who gave genuine input and comments that made sense. And then those, again, who just were genuinely concerned and have been following me for a very long time, but more so just concerned of me and maybe girl, because it's not easy. It's not easy to retell a story. It's not easy to relive something, and it's definitely not easy to catch the backlash. Just because I spoke on him and her situation don't mean I didn't receive backlash either. And y'all know, as the old saying goes, opinions are like what? Yeah, everybody got them. So it's cool. Like, I get it. Everybody has their opinion, and that's fine. It does not bother me. But I do want to say thank you for those who were genuinely concerned, and thank you for those who just followed just to say, hey, you know, you don't deserve that, or whatever the case may be. Whatever your opinion was, whatever your comment was, whatever your contribution was, I appreciate it, good, bad, or ugly, because at the end of the day, it's all a learning experience. My hope is that somebody looks at this, watches this, and is like, okay, I'm not the only person going through this by myself. No, you're not. You're not the only person who has gone through this. There are people out in the world that literally go through these type of situations. And unfortunately, some people in a much worse situation. You know, there's suicide that's involved. There are other things that become super involved. And I'm just glad that I never got to that place. Although, yes, you know, it is not easy to not get to that place, but I did not get to that place. God willing, I have a great village. I have a great support system. And for me, it's just better if I keep it that way with my support system and my village. Because right now, the contact for me is going to be too triggering. It's going to be too much. And I don't want that type of stress, especially bringing a baby into this world. As for my daughter right now, she's a baby. She's little. She can't miss anything that she's never had. And if it's going to be easier for me, the mother, the predominant parent, to be away from her father for the best mental state and the best parenting that I can give her, then that's what I'm going to do. Is it a sacrifice? Yes. Does everybody have to agree with it? No. And I understand that a lot of people probably wouldn't agree with it. And I don't care at this point. This is just one of those situations where you make your bed, you lay in it. And unfortunately, this bed is not as soft as what he thought it was going to be, I don't think. But what could you do? I'm not going to go back and say, oh, well, this is an excuse for this and this. No, those days are over. There is no excuse for any of this. I didn't deserve it. She didn't deserve it. And I'm content with that. I'm at peace with that piece of it. So it is what it is. My daily prayer is that one day he will be able to be the man and father that I know he can be. But I know right now, stressing myself for him to be that is not what I'm going to do. And honestly, when you make a choice to live your life a certain way, you have to live with those choices. Every action has a reaction and every action has a consequence. And sometimes the consequences, you don't think about it when you're doing the actions because, one, you probably don't think that you'll get caught. Number two, that it'll get back to those who it needs to get back to. Or number three, that it simply would have a consequence of this caliber. But it does. And life, especially a child's life, is not something that I'm going to play with ever, especially my own kids' life. I don't play about other kids, but I'm damn sure not going to play about my own. All in all, it definitely was a life lesson, a lot of lessons learned. I have a lot of conflicting feelings about just dating, parenting, all of that. But at the end of the day, the focus is the princess. And that is where my focus is, making sure she gets here healthy, she gets here safely, I have a healthy delivery and nothing happens to me, and that she and I can come home and love on each other. If I know nothing else, I know I love this little girl with everything in me, and I want to be the best mom to her. With all of that being said, I love you all so much. I thank you all so much. Baby girl will be making her debut sometime this week. So y'all stay tuned for that. I will definitely keep y'all updated about y'all internet niece. But y'all already know what I'm going to say. See y'all in the next one. As for him and we do not talk. He's blocked from my phone. He does communicate every now and again with my sister and my friend. And they will relay messages. However, I just have no interest in talking to him. They did try to give him the benefit of the doubt at one point and offered that he come to my home to visit her while they were present. So then it would be a situation where someone was there and it was a mutual party, so then he could still visit with his daughter. He chose not to take up those opportunities. So at this point, those opportunities no longer stand. I'm just not in the business of playing the games and the excuses. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it. If somebody gave you the opportunity to come see your child, at that point, if you really want to see your child, you're going to take that opportunity. For me, I look at it like this, and I could be wrong, but it was okay to throw your life away and be scared or not be scared when you were traveling and you weren't supposed to be traveling. It was okay for you to be doing the things you were doing to do what you wanted to do with this young lady. But you don't make any of those same sacrifices or even efforts to do that to come see your child. So at that point, why even continue to offer or put the offer on the table. If you don't want it, you don't want it, babe. And nobody's forcing you over here, at least from my point of view and from me, to be a father. I never, ever, 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 ever in life am going to force a man to be a father. If you're going to choose to be a father, you're going to choose to be a father. And if you're not, you're not. And that's okay with me either way it go. My child is going to be taken care of, and she's very well taken care of. Now, as for the young lady, I'll just say this, and I'm going to be real brief about it because it's not even worth all of that. It's bigger things coming from all of this. The sneak dissing is still there. The subliminals are still there. Why they're still being posted, I don't know, and I don't care. I have a phone full of them. And at the end of the day, it's now like it's just doing it for pure entertainment. I guess she wanted to see how far she could go or how she could get under my skin or make me feel away. But at that point, those days are over. Did it hurt in the beginning? Yes, of course. I'm human. But does it hurt now? Is it bothering me now? No. So your point in putting on this show and continuing to mention me is for what? Because I'm not thinking about you. I'm not bothering you. Yet you're continuing to sneak diss me, make subliminals about me, and then y'all lie about it. And that's the part that got me kind of like crazy. If you're going to throw the stones, but don't throw the stones and hide your hand. Like, stop saying, oh, no, they're not about her, but when they're clearly about me. Like, oh, no, she has other people to think about, and oh, no, she's not doing, when they're clearly about me. Like, let's be for real. And again, you know, I don't understand it, and I don't care to understand it. My thing is, leave me be. I'm not bothering you, so don't bother me, you know? But people don't tend to understand that. And again, when you want the attention, I've learned when you want attention, you're seeking attention, it don't matter if it's good or bad. That's what you're going to do. So as long as it's somebody under that post that you're sneak dissing about or that you're throwing shade about is entertaining her, that's what she's going to do. And so once I came to terms with that, me and my friends and my sister have just come to terms with, just don't send me nothing else. Because the more I see it, the more I just be like, wow. I'm bothering you that bad. I don't even bother y'all. Like, I mind's my business. I don't ask this man for a pamper, a wipe, a piece of tissue, a baby towel, an outfit, or nothing. I don't call for nothing. I say what I have to say to you, and I block you back. I don't call for nothing. So I don't even understand why it's me still being talked about, me still, you know, on your brain or on her brain. But either way it go, I could care less, y'all. Like, I really could, because at the end of the day, guess what? You got him. She got him. Right? So you won, boo. Like, you won. I don't want to fight no more. I don't want to get in the ring no more, because you won, boo. I'm not never finna force nobody to stay nowhere where they don't want to be. And I ain't got to force myself on nobody. Y'all happy? Be happy. They happy. However, one thing God does do is he blesses those who are consistent. He blesses those who are worthy. And at this point, I didn't understand why I was put through all of this. At a few points, I felt confused. I was just like, why is it? This is me, you know. Mentally, I was just going through a thing like, okay, is this really life right now? Like, am I really? It was a really crazy emotional ride. These 6 weeks have been totally just up and down, up and down, up and down. But I will say my family has been amazing. And I will say that God blesses those who wait. I've always asked to be on TV. I've always asked to be an actress. I've always asked to have my own talk show. If anybody that knows me knows, these are like dreams come true. And it's so sad that even though it had to come from a really bad situation and a really life-changing situation, that it would give me another life-changing opportunity. And I couldn't be more grateful. You know, they say there's no testimony without a test. And baby, this has been a crazy test. And the testimony is even bigger. So I just encourage everybody who was ever watching the series and watching the show, just watch the after show. Continue to watch the growth. Continue to watch what's going on now, because I promise y'all, it was all worth it. Y'all have been going through it with me. Y'all know exactly, you know, from beginning to end when I started this. And God had something for me at the end of this, and I just didn't see it. You know, like I told y'all in the beginning, I debated on if I even wanted to do this series because I was like, man, you know, this really puts my life out on the line. It opens up for so many people to have so much to say about me. And I had to put that to the back burner to say, you don't never know who you helping out. You don't never know who your story will touch. You don't never know how this will change your life. And that is literally what it did. So I'm not going to tell y'all exactly what it is, but I can kind of guide y'all in the right direction. And if you were just listening to any of my dreams, you would know one of those dreams are definitely coming true from this series. And I thank y'all so much for watching. I thank y'all so much for supporting. And I thank y'all so much for even just being here and going through this with me. Because when I tell y'all it was not easy, it was not something that I wanted to have to do, especially because this was nowhere near where I saw my life. But they always say, if you want to see God laugh, you tell him what you got planned. And baby, the plans that I had, they have gone on to a whole nother road, which that's why I know God has something special for me. And I just learned that you can't take everybody with you. You cannot take everybody with you. As much as you want to see these people with you and in this place with you, God has a way of telling you, that's not for you, and they will not be with you. And he will remove them. And unfortunately, I feel like that was what happened with this situation. The more I thought about, oh my goodness, my family is broken up, you know, again, this is just crazy. The more God was like, yep, again, because that wasn't right. That wasn't right that time. But I gave you what you wanted. I gave you what you asked for. And my friend brought this to me, and I did not realize this until after the fact. As well as my sister. They both told me, Maya, you've been praying for a daughter. You've been praying for a daughter. You've been praying for a girl. But you didn't ask God how. And God gave me my daughter, but he didn't give me the family piece that I desired because that wasn't for me. And that's okay. You know, I can say that now. At first, I didn't understand it because I'm just like, why would you put me through this? But I understand it now. When I say I understand it now, y'all, I understand it. And when I say I am so excited for this next journey in my life, I am so excited for the doors this has opened for me. And I'm just so excited for what that looks like for my kids. They get to really see their mother live out a dream that literally all I did was say it from my mouth to this camera, my mouth to another camera, my mouth to another phone, my mouth to another person. And literally my dream is coming true as we speak. I literally have a meeting about all of this in the morning because I have a big decision to make of how I'm going to change me and my kids' lives. And I just could not be more grateful. So when you think that it is a bad situation and it is going to tear you down, which it may, because this situation definitely tried. It tries to get me down. I promise you, it tries to get me down. But when you stay faithful and you just understand that God makes no mistakes, go through it. You got to go through it because whatever is for you is going to be for you. But all I'm going to tell y'all is look for your girl on the big screen. See y'all in the next one.
So everybody has been messaging me about what's going on, asking me, am I okay? Letting me know I'm bigger than that. I have a bigger platform. You know, why am I going off so much? What's going on? Do I need anything? Don't let people bother you. And I hear y'all. I promise you, I hear y'all. However, I refuse to let a man or a woman sit up and tarnish my name, especially associating me with a bitter baby mama. I refuse, absolutely refuse to allow that to be the narrative when it comes to me and mine, period. With that being said, part 21 of Pregnant by a Man Living a Double Life. This is literally what's currently happening in this moment right now today. So I left out a lot of details when I was telling the story. I didn't tell everything because I felt like that was too exposing. But at this point, those details that were left out, they are important, which actually proves a lot of my points of why I stand on what I said and why I am in the place where I am today when it comes to my daughter, her father, and his young lady. So we'll start back to when my baby was first born. When my baby was first born, I was still very much in contact with a lot of his family. Not everybody, but I did have contact with his family. A lot of his family got pictures when she was first born. A lot of his family checked in. I checked in with them. And I tried to be cordial with everybody. Now,
me being cordial with everybody, I'm not going to name specifically what family member, but me being cordial with everybody was a slap in the face for me, because I called myself trying to be nice, called myself trying to be inclusive to this person particularly, and they literally went against everything that we talked about. And I was just like, wow, that's a smack in my face. Now, I would send pictures to everybody. Literally, all his people I would send pictures to. And I made it very clear that when I feel like if the time is right and I'm ready for her and him to meet and, you know, it's going to be peaceful on everybody's end, then I will do that. But up until then, just respect the fact that I'm her mother and I'm asking you to not send pictures to him. What I will send him, I will send him. What I want him to have, he will have. It's not that I didn't send him pictures at all. He very much had pictures of his daughter, especially when she was first born. However, everybody respected it but one particular family member. She decided that she was going to continue to send him pictures, continue to post my daughter on her social media without asking. She asked about one picture. I gave permission for one picture, and I sent the specific picture that could be uploaded. Before you know it, there were pictures galore of my daughter all over this lady's page, after I had asked her not to post my child without permission, number one, and then sent the picture to her father, and I specifically asked that pictures not be sent to him. So after that particular situation, I let it be known that those were the rules. This is what I asked. And, you know, this is what was expected. And I didn't get mad. I continued to send her pictures because I was the bigger person. I said, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to take her away from, you know, being able to see Devani because she made a mistake. Okay, she made a mistake. We're going to get past it. Move on. So on and so forth. Washed it away. So remember them family members I was telling y'all about? That no matter what a person does, win, lose, or draw, good or bad, bad or good, ugly or not, they going to stick by that person and they going to take up for that person irregardless. She's one of them family members. So at that point, once I realized that and I had a feeling it was coming, but I tried to be open because I felt like I didn't want to be the person to take Devani away from her family. Like I didn't want to be that person. But what I'm not going to do is allow a person or any family that's not my family. Hell, I'm not even going to let my own family disturb my household or my peace. When you're disturbing my household and my peace and stirring up turmoil between people when it's already enough turmoil, that's not for me. So it's time for me to remove you from the equation as well. We all mutually decided that, you know, we were not going to talk. She's not going to say nothing to me. I'm not going to say nothing to her. She's not going to say nothing to my sister. My sister not going to say nothing to her. No more pictures will be transferred to her. And that's going to be the end of that. We just mutually all agreed that that was the best situation. Because at this point, it's too much conflict. It's too much turmoil. I don't want it on my end. You saying you don't want it on your end. So we're not going to do it. Now, granted, if you don't want it on your end, that would mean typically that you wouldn't start it or be in the middle of it. That's just my thoughts. But again, everybody's different and everybody cut different. So, hey, we left it where it was. Now, this is where it gets crazy. I'm randomly going to the store, me and the baby. I'm going to get me something to wear because I'm going out this night. And I get a text from my sister saying, hey, your daughter's father asks, could you help him? Help him do what? Help him? Why is that even a thought? Help him? We can't be all on the same world. Like, we can't be all in the same world. Help him? So he couldn't get his lies together when he first asked for help in the first place, which was crazy to me, but not surprising. So he first texted my sister saying he needed money for a lawyer. What do you need money for a lawyer for? But okay. Then you say, oh, you also need money orders for a leasing office. What you need money for a leasing office for? Well, let's backtrack. Let me fill y'all in. So he called himself after he left my house that I own. He left my house, went to this young lady's mother's house, stayed with this young lady and her mother, I'm guessing, or whoever stays in that place, moved with this young lady to where she was dwelling, which she does not own, and they living there. So they in a 5x7 room there. He decides he wants to be Big Bang Hank. He want to have some of his own. He gonna take care of her. So he moved her out
to an apartment that they no longer stay in, but they moved in on June 1st. So that's where the leasing office comes in. So apparently they moved in this little apartment, and now the leasing office needs their payment because somebody made a fraudulent payment for their first month's rent in their security deposit. So you made a fraudulent purchase to get your apartment and then can't stay. That was what it was given, because that's what was brought to me when my help was needed. So they moved into their apartment, and their first month's rent and security deposit needed to be repaid because the first payment was made with fraud. Now, of course, he feeds my sister this BS excuse of how all of this happened. But in a nutshell, he used somebody else's account fraudulently, and it came back. So now the payment is owed, and they need to pay it. This man fixes his lips to ask my sister to ask me to help him so that they don't get put out. What? Me? Why me? I can't help you, baby. I ain't got nothing for you. So my sister is like, she's not going to help you, but I'll ask, but she's not going to help you. My sister did try to help him at some point, try to make some money so that he could make these payments so that he wouldn't get put out. However, things didn't work out that way. So all while this is going on, my sister is still extending the invitation for him to come see his daughter. Still, they set multiple dates, multiple times, and she even told him, I'll take the heat from Maya if you want to see your baby, but I'll be here this day, this day, this day. You be here on this day, this day, this day, at this time so you can see your daughter. Not only did my sister extend that, but my friend extended it as well. Told him the same thing. I'll take the heat from Maya. I'm over here right now. She's not going to fight me to get to the door. She's not going to pull nothing with me. So come see your baby. Y'all think he showed up? No, he hasn't. Y'all think he showed up? He didn't. None of those dates, none of those times that were offered to him did he take. He did not see her at all. Did not come, did not try, did not make an attempt, nothing. Mind y'all, this is the same man who stopped coming to doctor's appointments knowingly that I was high risk, knowingly that his daughter was high risk. He stopped coming to doctor's appointments. This is the same man who didn't put not a stroller, not a car seat, not a bed, not a bassinet, not nothing together for his daughter. This is the same man who ain't bought a piece of clothing, a diaper, a wipe for her at all, period. But yet, you were still extended the invitation to come see your child. Let's not also forget, this is the same man who is very much aware that his daughter has some developmental issues with her kidney and had to get a penicillin shot at 4 days old. Compliments of him.